Most people think scaling a cannabis brand comes down to hype, genetics, or marketing. Well, it doesn't. The only reason I'm able to grow 3 brands at once is because I built an operational machine that works when I'm sick, busy, or asleep. While other founders are trapped running their business, mine runs itself 80 to 90% on its own. On this channel, I break down the exact infrastructure behind my companies, the compliance systems, product pipelines, and distribution frameworks that most founders never learn to control. This is how real million-dollar cannabis brands actually operate behind closed doors. If you don't know me, I'm Chris. I've spent 20 years across wholesale sales, distribution, cultivation, and brand building. And now I help trappers turn their underground instincts into licensed market advantage without owning a license. And here's the truth. Fewer than 9% of cannabis brands will ever hit 7 figures in revenue per year. Not because it's impossible, but because most founders follow the wrong steps in the wrong order, if they even know what the steps to follow even are. So today, I'm showing you the exact tools that separates founders stuck at 200,000 from the ones building $2 million brands and more. So let's get into it. The first tool I use every day is Notion. So this is my brand HQ. It's got my mission statement, my content pillars, tone of voice, packaging references. And then when it comes to content, it's got my calendars, scripts, approval pipeline, my asset library. We also have a team hub, which has onboarding documents, SOPs, positions, roles, expectations. Next is our ops system, which has workflows, our vendor lists, compliance docs, processes, and everything else. Notion will eliminate friction. It makes delegating effortless, and it keeps remote teams aligned without constant meetings. It also is going to provide strategic clarity. Think of it like your second brain for general strategy, clarity, writing, analysis. It's all stored there. And now Notion even has its own AI built in, which you can use from basic to advanced things, from finding files and documents all the way up to having it create custom Notion cards for you just based off information you plug in. The next major tool, which a lot of people have already used or are using, is ChatGPT. I use this for all sorts of things, from formatting financial models, my margins, COGS, burn rates, all the way to writing SOPs, onboarding checklists, even department workflows. I also use this sometimes for brainstorming, whether that be from marketing angles, content ideas, campaign frameworks. I also use it to draft product descriptions, storytelling, email sequences, prepping content plans, revising branding pillars. All these things are important. However, don't just use ChatGPT by just saying, make me a marketing plan or make me a branding profile. It doesn't work like that. You need to really dive deep into prompting, how to prompt right, and setting a basic prompt structure up. And this is even something you can store into your Notion, is prompts, custom prompts, or at least prompt structures and frameworks. And it starts by telling the ChatGPT what it needs to be doing. Say, I need you to be a world-class marketer. And then setting the stage. What are you marketing? Is this to who's your consumer? Who's your demographic? And then what type of marketing assets? What's the platform it's going to be on? What's the purpose of the marketing? And then the meat and potatoes of it, the body of it. What is it that you're marketing? What is the offer? What is the deal, the sale, the new product drop, whatever the case may be. So now you got to put the details in for that. And then you also want to tell it what type of results you want to find, what you want to see come from this. Do you want them to take action, make a purchase, drop their email? So you want to put as much context into this prompt as possible. I'm not going to go deep into prompt engineering here. There's plenty of other educational YouTube videos you can find on how to properly prompt, whether that be ChatGPT, Claude, or any other LLM. Some basic prompts to start with, if I were in your shoes, are things like help me find my ideal customer profile based on X product and Y region. Or tell me how to implement Notion plus QuickBooks plus ConnectTeam for a cannabis company with 5 to 20 employees. You can also use ChatGPT to take existing content and have it rewrite it or rephrase it, whether that be for more simple terms or to reduce the amount of text and just make it straightforward to the point. You can even tell it to rewrite something, say at a 5th grade reading level, so that my team actually follows it. You can also dive into business clarity stuff, putting plans in there, putting marketing plans, asking what am I missing? What's the risk in this plan? Or maybe rewrite this decision with pros and cons so I can choose objectively. Also running finance models through it and asking it to explain finance models like I'm new to it. So it can really break things down and give you finance strategies. Like I mentioned earlier, you want to make sure to give it context. You want to give it your end goal, such as I want this to improve my margins by 12%, as much detail as you can. You also want to give it constraints. Maybe that's compliance constraints or things it can't do, words you don't want it to say. So make sure to identify that as well. Also let it know if you want step-by-step actions and variants of it, or do you want more of a storytelling breakdown or more of something, like I said, on a 5th grade level. So you really want to identify what type of output do you want, even if that's as a spreadsheet format or something I can turn into an email versus an SOP. So these are all different things that you want to identify and be clear about in your prompts. Okay, the next tool is QuickBooks. And this is super important, and so many people I talk to are not using QuickBooks. And in this industry, in cannabis, you bleed cash if you don't track every single line item. QuickBooks is non-negotiable. You want to have every transaction, every vendor, even all your cards and your bank account should be linked there. And that way, whether you're buying packaging, whether you're paying payroll for your staff or your VAs, you always want to understand what your expenses are, down to the smallest line item. And this is what's going to equate into your burn rate. And your burn rate is how much money does it cost to keep your business going each month? What's your monthly burn? So that means if, let's say your burn rate's 10 grand a month, you need to at least make 10 grand in profit to be able to have to spend. I'm not talking 10 grand in revenue, 10 grand in sales, because revenue includes your cost of goods. So 10 grand above your cost of goods in order to satisfy your burn rate. Also, by having QuickBooks and having accurate data inside QuickBooks, it can help to show you your average cost per unit, profit margins at certain wholesale prices, your profit margin from retail, even how much breathing room you have for your burn rate or for adding on new products, adding on new marketing campaigns. It basically removes emotions from decisions, and you can make your decisions based off real data. With QuickBooks, nothing gets lost. And that's the important part, is to track everything, all your finances, money coming in, money going out, as well as inventory. Okay, the next tool is onlinejobs.ph. That's onlinejobs.ph, no .com. And this is how you're gonna build a global team. So my remote team started and I scaled it from onlinejobs.ph. In my opinion, it's the easiest place to find skilled VAs at affordable rates. So some of the VA roles that I hire for is content creation, such as video editing, even running my social media pages, data entry, so just busy work, you know, whether that be fixing links or go updating the spreadsheet, things like that. Any sort of menial task, product research, supplier research, vendor research, things that just take your time and bandwidth. If you give clear, concise framework, you can just let them have at it. Next is email support. This is an easy one, and having them control an email. And when I say control, you want to put them in full responsibility of it, saying do not miss an email. If there's anything you don't understand how to reply to, forward it to me in our Signal chat or whatever messaging platform you're using, and make sure that you get a reply so that you can send that email back. So you want them to be in charge of your email. And I learned this from someone from Silicon Valley about your first hire should be a personal assistant to the CEO. And that first hire, their main task should be to have them be the CEO of your email, of your inbox, making sure that nothing falls through the cracks. All important emails are either replied to or acted upon. Because sometimes you might get emails coming in, say it's from the state, and you need to file your statement of information before a certain date to avoid a $275 fine. So things like that, maybe it just slips through the crack if you're managing your own email. But if it's the task for the VA to do, it's their objective to not miss an email. So have them run your email. That way it takes that off your plate, takes that out of your head, and you can have someone handle that fairly simply. And some of these VA roles, depending on what you're gonna have them do as a job, more busy work and menial tasks, that's gonna be finding a VA between probably $5 to $7 an hour. Once you start asking for more specialized tasks, such as finance tracking, bookkeeping, advanced accounting, I have a VA. I have two VAs for my finance side. One that does bookkeeping and is kind of like an assistant for me, and the other is more of a CFO. He takes all that bookkeeping across all my companies every month, summarizes that down into a financial one sheet, and he sends that to me at the end of each month. So I can see all the money that came in, all the money that went out to expenses, what's left over, and what am I doing with that leftover money. So it's a basic macro view of your finances for that month, and that's what my CFO does. And so the CFO also is out in the Philippines. And if I were to pay someone here in America to do that, it'd be quite a costly position. But instead, for my CFO, I pay him $100 a week, so that's $400 a month, and he oversees all my financials. And then my bookkeeper handles all the day-to-day of the financials, making sure if there's an invoice that needs to be sent out, she sends it, making sure if there's a payment that's received, whether that's electronically or if it's a cash payment, she logs it properly along with the receipt and the verification of payment, as well as issuing a payment receipt to anyone that we collect payments from, which is also important for proper finance tracking. Some other key positions for VAs is project coordination, project management. And so if you get one that's competent, that can handle things on the fly, like say you put them in charge of all your packaging production, meaning they're gonna be monitoring your inventory, which I'll get to in a bit here, which software to use for inventory. So they'll be monitoring your packaging inventory as it drops down below a certain threshold, which we call a par level. You set your par levels for your packaging. Now the VA knows I need to start ordering new sets of packaging. So now it's his or her objective to find out, say with me, are we reordering the same packaging? Are we making any updates? Do we need to update the design file before sending it to China? And then once we have the designs dialed in, they're the ones that's gonna reach out to China, submit the design files, speak with our rep over at the factory in China, and handle that back and forth. And then initiate the production, stay on top of that, make sure payment gets sent when it needs to be sent. And so it's just project management. You know, you have a starting point and an end point, and it's their job to get from point A to point B. And there's a lot of other things that VAs can do. And think about it, anything that's boring work, monotonous work, busy work, these are perfect roles for VAs to take on. And you have to set everything out in specific ways. You have to make proper SOPs and document everything step by step, because ultimately it's your fault if they mess up. Because the reason I say that, if you're not training them properly and give them the proper resources to make the right decisions to do the job properly, it's your fault for not preparing them. And if they're not qualified for it, it's also your fault for putting them in that position, not being qualified for it. So as an owner, as a business person, as a citizen of Earth, as just a person being alive, a human being, understand that taking full responsibility for everything in your life is super important. This is the key to success in general. Anybody that's successful, that's rich, that owns companies, that's made millions of dollars will tell you, I guarantee, find me someone that doesn't, and I'll give you $1,000. Find me someone that's made millions of dollars, documented, that says they don't take responsibility for everything that happens in their life and their business. And I guarantee you, any millionaire out there will tell you that they take full responsibility. And what that means is not having a victim mentality. Not saying, oh, it's so-and-so's fault. Or, oh, I thought I told you to do that. Or blaming it on external circumstances. Oh, the economy crashed, that's why we didn't make money this month. No, these are outside reasons that you're casting blame onto. As a business owner, you need to take full responsibility for every decision and for where you're at now. And until you do, you're never gonna get past that point. And so for the people that don't understand this, the opposite of taking full responsibility is having a victim mentality. So you're either gonna take full responsibility or you're gonna play the victim card. And playing the victim doesn't get you anywhere. And this is just anything in life, whether you're building a business or you're a worker at a McDonald's. You can play the victim all you want, but all that's gonna do is keep you stuck in that victim mode. Just keep you stuck in that scarcity mindset. Keep you stuck blaming other people for the life that you're experiencing. When we all have the option to live the life that we wanna live, however, it starts by taking full responsibility in this moment today and every moment there forward. So back to the VAs. It's super important to build your remote team of VAs because not only does it allow you to keep staff on hand full time without burning a shitload of cash, but it's necessary for global expansion because you can't have your team siloed in America to where you're paying them 25, 30 bucks an hour sometimes for stuff that you could be paying $5 to $10 an hour to VAs over in the Philippines. And not only are they making way more at that rate than they would at a normal job in their home currency, it's costing us a bit less, but more so, they value this job so much and it's such a great opportunity for them and they're making so much more money than they would in other situations that they go above and beyond. They make sure to execute on that job as best as they can. And if they're not doing that, you got a shitty VA. Just get rid of them. But all the VAs I got on my team, and my team has been solid. We got, I believe, 7 VAs total. It's either 7 or 8. And they've been with us. The majority of them have been with us for all over a year. You know, some of them have been with us for 2.5 years now. So building your solid team of VAs, they love the job. They want to keep that job. And like I said, you're paying them $7 to $10 for the same job that someone in America is going to be charging $20 to $30 for an hour. And what I found with some of the American contractors is they're going to do the bare minimum or expect more to do more. I'm not saying you're trying to milk them for more hours or something, that asking them to work more than they should for you to pay them. But what I'm saying is not doing the bare minimum just to check the box off, and it's going above and beyond. For instance, my web developer VA, we'll give her a task, but she's coming back to us with all these detailed things that I didn't even know to ask about, whether that be like back-end web security and this plugin to fix this and this to do this. But all I asked her to do is add on this new landing page. You know what I mean? So she's going above and beyond to make sure that not only is she checking the box of the task off, but she's doing it to the full extent that needs to be. And that means in her position, making me aware to the options that are necessary, rather than her thinking like, oh, well, he didn't tell me to do this, so I'm not gonna do this. So that's what I say is going above and beyond, really caring about your job, taking pride in your job, super important. So this is Online Jobs PH, onlinejobs.ph, how you find VA talent, and you got to weed through it. I'm not going to lie. The platform's unreal if you know how to filter applicants. There's going to be a lot of bullshit applicants. There's also going to be scams on there. So you got to watch out for that. Another quick tip to it is finding a good VA, at least one or two from this platform. And then every VA that you add to your team, next time you need to add a new one, before going back to online jobs, ask your VA team. Some of them have friends, family members, previous coworkers, and they can call upon them and just say, hey, I need my company that I'm working for is looking for a finance VA, and I know you're a good finance VA. You looking for a position? So the point is, ask your existing VA team before. So once you get 2 or 3, you can kind of build this, ecosystem of VAs. And then as you continue to grow and scale and you need to plug more in, they're just going to help you find them. Okay, so the next tool I use to track not only the VA work, but also any American or US-based contractors is called ConnectTeam. And this is like a digital time tracking software, and it's critical, especially when you're operating across multiple projects, multiple time zones, and it's necessary, especially when you're scaling. First off, it ensures that I'm not overspending or going over budget on labor. It has a clock in, clock out per task, or you can set time windows so they can't mistakenly go past a certain amount of time. You can also approve any sort of changes to it. So say if they forgot to clock out, but they have to go back and change it, they can't just change it on their own. They need to get someone like myself or Angel. He's our operations director, and he's the only other one authorized to approve their time clock changes. But ConnectTeam is very important. Not only can you track hours here, but you can put job roles, descriptions, SOPs. So that way it's a commonplace that they're used to seeing every day. But if they have any questions on objectives or the job role, they can always check that in the ConnectTeam app. It's also got project-based time mapping. So if you're giving them a set time to do a project, you can assign that there. It's also obviously all the payroll reports, everything's exportable. And for location-dependent workers, it's also GPS verified. So say if they had to clock in at a certain location, you can verify that for in-person work. So with ConnectTeam, it helps to keep your labor costs transparent, and it prevents time leakage. And this is super important because payroll costs in any business are going to be some of your highest repetitive costs. So it lets you see the productivity trends and the team workload instantly through ConnectTeam. Okay, the next software that I use, the next tool I use all the time is called Signal Messenger. And you're probably familiar with this. It's a privacy-based app. It's all encrypted. It allows me to set up separate group chats for different things. So I use these group chats such as we have a marketing group chat. We have a Philippine VA group chat where all the VAs are in that, and we can just give them broad announcements. We even check in with them. Again, back to the VAs real quick, is they're humans just like us. So don't treat them any different just because they're from a third world country or they're getting paid a third of what you paid American. They're just like us. They want to have interactions. They want to be part of the team. They want to understand what's going on. They have good days and bad days just like anybody else. So even just checking in, saying good morning, making sure everyone's got a good vibe, starting the day on the right page, that goes a long way. Another big thing is simply saying thank you. Hey, you're doing a great job. Thanks for doing this today. I didn't expect you to go so far above and beyond, but I really appreciate that and respect that. And not only is that going to make them feel happy and satisfied more than that dollar amount they made that day, but it's going to remember in their head to where next time they have the opportunity to go above and beyond or to do the right thing rather than cut a corner or do it the easy way, they're going to remember that and feel that, and they're going to always want to go above and beyond. So it's a very simple thing. It's just, again, the golden rule. Treat them how you want to be treated. So back to the Signal Messenger, we have group chats that apply to whatever you got going on, and keeping these separate. whether that be, say if it's with a buyer or something, I'm gonna have a separate group chat with him and my bookkeeper. If anyone owes me money, I have separate group chat with that person and my bookkeeper. That way, any payments that come in, she can log that immediately, send him back the remaining balance of what he owes. And it's a very straightforward, hands-off process. I don't have to track. I don't want to track bookkeeping. I don't want to track who paid this, who paid what, who owes this, who owes what. It's simply something I can pay someone $6, $7 an hour to do. And I'm in the loop as well, so I'm seeing it all come in. If there's a question, she'll ask me. If something's not clear, I'll let them know or clarify things. So it's not about you doing every single thing. It's about making sure that every single thing has someone who's responsible for it, and that they're reporting back to you, and that you set out the right systems and processes to make sure that they're doing it properly. So that way when you call upon them and you say, hey, what was our expenses this past month? What was our expenses last week? How much did I spend on VAs? How much did I spend on rent total for my warehouse, for my office space? How much money did we spend on events last month? So all these things, you could probably find it yourself, but you also want that at your fingertips. If you just need an answer to a question and you don't want to mess up your focus and you just need to send a text, hey, how much did we spend on this? What was our invoice on this one, etc. So having that is crucial. So having these chats organized, I can't say how many group chats I have off the top of my head, but there's a bunch that we use all the time. And Signal, not only is it encrypted, but you can send voice notes, you can share files. It's got group calls, it's got video calls. It's really built robustly, and it works good too. There's no bugs really, it doesn't crash. It's a very stable software. And the best part is it works in real time on your computer and your phone. So as soon as you send a message or a file or anything, it's in both places, your computer and your phone. You can also pin chats at the top. So certain chats that I use a lot, including a note to self, it's got this great feature called note to self. So if you got Signal and you didn't know that, just type note to self in the search bar on your message feed, and there's a message already pre-built in there called note to self. Pin that, slide it to the side, hit pin, it'll pin it to the top. Now you always got this note to self at the top. You can just send yourself links, you can send yourself something to remember. Sometimes, say if I got to transfer something from my phone to my computer, I'll just send it through note to self on Signal. And it's the quickest, easiest way. So every brand, every department, every project, even multiple large tasks has its own chat channel in Signal. And this eliminates scattered chats across WhatsApp, iMessage, Slack, IG groups. Like I said, it's great for fast updates, file drops, just getting approvals, as well as emergency things. If everyone's on Signal, that's what we work off of all day, Signal and Notion. So as with any business, just life in general, even personal romantic relationships, the key to all these successful relationships in life is communication, good communication. So that's what Signal provides, good communication in one place. Okay, the next tool is Google Drive. You want to think of this as your digital asset vault. And I'm sure everyone's at least used it. If not, you've heard of it. So it should be fairly simple. But you want to set up a Google Drive for your company. And not just use your personal Gmail account, because you're going to have your custom domain. So I recommend getting your domain set up through Google Workspace. And by having your custom domain set up through Google Workspace, it's going to give you Gmail, email accounts. It's going to give you Google Drive based on your workspace, as well as all the other features that Google has. Sheets, documents, PowerPoint presentations, all that will be included under your login for your workspace. So it's going to exist completely separate from your existing personal Gmail. So with Google Drive, you want to use this to not only organize all your assets, but also your content, any sort of templates or SOPs, your brand assets, your logos, any marketing campaigns, all the assets associated with those marketing campaigns, all your platform specific content, your IG reels to post, your YouTube videos, any print, any documents, all this is getting saved in Google Drive. And not only does it allow you to keep it all organized in one place, it's safely backed up, and it also lets my team access what they need in seconds. So there's zero downtime waiting for files or digging through chats. And you can sync Google Drive up now with Notion. And you can also sync Google Drive up with ChatGPT, which helps you keep track of these documents even better. And now you have AI helping you do the searches. So Google Drive acts as our single source of truth for creative assets. It doesn't exist in there. We don't have the master file for it. It's a massive time saver when working with designers, editors, and marketers. And the way I do that with my design team is they have their own folder. And so within that folder, they can create as many folders inside that as they need. So with my main designer, as he's working on new stuff, he doesn't have to just send me all these files that then I have to download and I have to organize them and save them and this and that. No, I give him his own folder link to my Google Drive, but he has access to it. And within there, he creates his own file structure. Let's say he's working on multiple different designs, one for Zodix, one for Lowski. And then within Lowski, he's got the list of all the Lowski designs he's done, all the Zodix designs he's done. So this is an easy way for him to upload and transfer work to us. And at the same time, it's already being stored and archived inside of our Google Drive and not having fragmented files where it's in his Google Drive and he just sent us a link to it. And now for me to download it, I need permission from him, like all these different things. So just operate out of your own Google Drive. Super important. So by the way, if you're serious about launching your brand into the licensed market and actually scaling it to $1 million a year brand, I teach cannabis entrepreneurs how to hit $100,000 months without owning a license. And we break this stuff down every single day inside my school community, as well as our new Telegram we just launched. And this is where we drop industry secrets, as well as info on my one-on-one guidance program. So the link's in the description if you want to get included with that. Now, let's get back to these tools. So the next one is called Odoo, and this is for inventory control. And this is all non-cannabis inventory. All of your cannabis inventory you're gonna have in QuickBooks. For all non-cannabis inventory, merchandise, packaging, any sort of merch type stuff, any non-cannabis stuff is gonna go inside Odoo. So this is an inventory tracking software. And the only way this is gonna work is when you pull stuff out to use, you have to deduct that from your software. And there's ways to do this seamlessly. You can get a scanner, you can get RFID tags. And it's really important, especially when you're doing all these events. You have new product drops, product launches. You may have print materials, accessories, all these different things you're gonna have stored ideally at your warehouse or in a storage spot, and you wanna keep it organized and documented in your Odoo, what's there, what goes in. And then as you pull stuff out, deduct that from your Odoo. And this is gonna prevent expensive reorders as well as out of stock issues, which you don't wanna find out you're out of stock of bags as you're going to get more stuff packaged, and all of a sudden you don't have the bags to do it, and it's gonna take you 6 weeks to get them from China. So you wanna avoid that, like I said earlier, by setting par levels, understanding where you have to start that reorder before you're fully out. And it's gonna let you forecast what you'll need for launches, for events, for busy seasons. And it's gonna help maintain a lean, efficient supply chain without guesswork. Next tool is Splitwise. And this is partnership accounting without drama. And I've been using this for years, and it's a lifesaver if you have co-founders or shared investments shared partners. And it's perfect for long-term projects, such as if you own a cultivation facility, a farm, even the brand, as well as short-term projects. Let's say you're doing an event where it's just a single event and you're partnering up with some people to throw the event and you're all splitting costs somehow. So whether that's 50-50 or 33-33-33 or maybe 60-40, however that split is, it doesn't matter. In Splitwise, you can set who has what percentage responsibility. So you say Chris is responsible for 33%, Sam's responsible for 33%, and Mike is responsible for 33%. So now you have the whole pie, everyone's responsible for it. Now let's say there's a $100 expense that I go spend. Let's say I had to go pick up some stickers or something. I'd pay $100 for it. So on that split, it's gonna be $33 my responsibility and $66 for the rest of people's. And I know we're missing a dollar here, but you guys know what I'm talking, 33.3%, whatever. So I'm covering 33%. So out of that $100 spent, 33 of that goes to my share, and it deducts 66 from the other two people, 33 each. So now on the dashboard of Splitwise, it's gonna show that these two other people, each one of them owe me $33. But now let's say over the course of that week, they might have spent some money on stuff that now I owe 33% of what they spent. So what Splitwise does is it automatically figures out, based on who spent what and what their percentage splits are, who owes who what. And it literally says, okay, Chris, you owe Mike X amount of dollars. Sam, you owe Chris this much. And Sam, you owe Mike this much. And it even calculates that third one. So Sam doesn't have to pay me for me to pay Mike. For instance, it can squash those balances and simplify them. So it just really shows who owes who what, or who has to put more into the pot to bring it up to zero. And you can export all this data. So not only that, it's on a spreadsheet that you can then import to your QuickBooks or have your finance bookkeeper cross-check and reconcile against your payment spent or against your expenses. So this works great for anything from buying equipment to collab drops is another great one. Again, whether it's a long-term business venture or a short-term one, Splitwise is a great way. Anytime there's partnerships involved where people have to chip in money, this is a great way to keep it transparent and keep it from having to have that hard talk of like sitting down, okay, let's figure out accounting, let's figure out who spent what, who owes what. No one wants to do that. It creates anxiety. It's like, fuck, bro, I don't want to sit. It's like going to school. I don't want to sit here and do homework and fucking calculate who owes me what, who owes who what, versus just pulling up an app in real time, being like, okay, so I owe $400 over here. Let me just buy this stuff here, log it in, and now I only owe $200 because each time you spend, it deducts from the amount you owe. So Splitwise is great for any kind of partnership, whether long-term or short-term. It actually calculates who owes what, no arguments, no confusion, no nothing. And what Splitwise really does, it takes emotion out of money conversations and it keeps your partnership relationships clean. So the next tool I use a lot is custom GPTs. You can look at these as almost digital employees. And these are GPTs you can have tailored to your brand voice, goals, workflows. For example, one of the GPTs I use a lot is for our event planning checklists. And so what we do there is we've done so many events and we've had lists of what we're bringing to each event. So what I've been able to do is upload those into a custom GPT and then put feedback about each event and say, okay, this is what we brought to a 500 person event. This is the equipment list we brought to a 1,500 person event. This is the equipment list we brought to a 3-day event for 100,000 people, which we've done in Berlin. So having these checklists, for instance, can help you prepare for what you need to bring for the amount of people that you're doing the event for. Because if you're doing a 100,000 person event over 3 days, you're gonna need to bring a lot of extra stickers, keychains, lighters, what else? Packaging for the flower, for your products. So really the amount of people at the events determines what you got to bring. So every event, especially if you got multiple events each month, it's going to take time if you're going to sit there and manually have to do all this, versus you're going to usually bring all the same shit to most events. Your tent, your pop-up tables, your banners, stickers, lighters, ashtrays, rolling trays, t-shirts, display items, whether that be like we got these stands to put our shirts on, we got other stands to put our bags on. So making sure you have all the details necessary for the event, and that's what these checklists help. So by having a custom GPT for events, not only can we keep it updated and continue giving it feedback and saying, okay, for this event, we did this. Even also negative, say if we ran out of something at an event, you can put that feedback in the GPT. Say, hey, at this 5,000 person event, we ran out of stickers. So next time we have a 5,000 person event, we should up it to this many stickers each. So what this does is now with this custom GPT, you can just plug in the event details, the date, the time, how many people, what your setup is. Is it a 10 by 10 booth? Is it no tent? Is it with a tent? Is it a 10 by 20? Etc. So you put the details of the event in to the GPT, and now it's going to spit out the results of, for this event, you should bring this many stickers, this many rolling trays, this many keychains, this many shirts, this many pieces of flour. So it really just makes it quick. Otherwise, you're spending time and potentially paying someone to plan this out. And if it's not consistent, there might be some events where you're prepared for, and then you show up to events and you're like, oh, fuck, we left this at the warehouse, or where's this? Oh, we don't have this. You don't want to have that. That's amateur. So another use for custom GPTs is brand specific content writing. And this is, again, programming it on the tone, on past examples, on objectives. And this is something where you can just plug in your updated details and now it just spits out what you want. You can also use custom GPTs for SOP drafting assistance. And this is, again, where you set the structure and the framework out, and now you just send in the details and you say, turn this into one of my SOPs for Zotix, or I need this for a Cannabis Academy SOP. You just flood it with the details and now it formats it the way you want it. Another great use for a custom GPT is for a compliance management checker. And so basically what I like to do is whatever state I'm working in, let's say right now we're getting our packaging together for New York, download the New York packaging guidelines. You can even download the entire cannabis laws for New York. And it's easy to find online. It's just downloadable in a PDF. And now in your custom GPT, you load that PDF in there, and now it becomes an expert on that compliance. And so now what you can do is, let's say if you uploaded your packaging guidelines, now you can send in pictures of your packaging and say, hey, cross-check this against the packaging guidelines and let me know if it's compliant. And now it can analyze your design work, check it against those guidelines, and spit it back to you any changes or things that might be out of compliance. So Compliance GPT is game changer, and it's gonna save you a lot of time paying lawyers or compliance experts for shit you could just do with a custom GPT, and you don't have to be an expert or a lawyer in any of it. The other great thing about GPTs, custom GPTs, is they learn over time, and it gets sharper and it remembers and it knows more. So it's just like a person. The more experience they get, the better they're gonna become. And it also cuts whether it be your creative time or your production time, easily by 40, 50, 60, 70% even sometimes. And on top of that, all the outputs it's producing is going to be consistent with your brand identity or the workflow that you have it programmed for. Okay, the next tool is my COGS Calculator on the Cannabis Academy platform. And this is only available to Cannabis Academy members. It's through the login on our back end. And this calculator has been programmed on all the details that's needed to figure out your COGS. And COGS stands for cost of goods sold. So basically your entire cost, let's say if you have a pre-roll you're selling, it's calculating everything from the cost of the flower that goes in the pre-roll, the cost of the empty pre-roll tubes itself, the cost of production for those pre-rolls, how much is the labor to fill them and package them, the cost of your actual packaging itself, any other testing costs involved with that, any other compliance costs you may have to add on to that, like your COA sticker, your certificate of authenticity that the test results happen, that's going to be another 10 cents. So you want to add up all these costs, even though they're small. Don't think like, oh, the COA sticker's 10 cents, who cares about that? Well, let me tell you, every penny on 100,000 pieces equals $1,000. So say if you make 100,000 pre-rolls and you're selling them all individually, just having a 2-cent variance on that is the difference between $2,000 or not. So it's like you do that 5 times, cut corners on 2 cents on 100,000 units, that's 10 grand you just lost. See what I'm saying? So your COGS calculator is super important when it comes to consumer products. At scale, the profits are in the pennies. So don't look at it like, oh, it's just a penny, it's just 10 cents, it's just 5 cents. All this adds up, especially when you're doing numbers. So you gotta be on point with this. So the COGS calculator is programmed to ask you all the right questions, because you might not know let's say you didn't know a COA sticker cost 10 cents to apply, or that you even needed it on there. And you're just counting the cost of your flour, the cost to pay someone to roll up some pre-rolls, and the cost of your packaging. That means your cost of goods, if you're basing off just those 3 items, is not accurate. You don't have that 10-cent COA sticker. You don't have your testing costs in there. You don't have the cost of transportation. Maybe you got to pay someone to transport those finished manufactured goods over to your distributor. Or maybe you got to pay someone to transport all the raw materials from, say, the cultivator to the manufacturer. So you want to include all these costs. And that COGS calculator is going to prompt you on, if you didn't know the cost, what was your cost for this? How much is your testing cost? How much is your COA sticker cost? So before I greenlight anything, especially on new products, or if I'm buying something from a new supplier, I run all the details through my COGS calculator. And by doing that, it's going to show you your cost of goods per SKU, your total production cost, your total cost per item. It also breaks down your wholesale profit as well as your retail profit, and goes deep into your profit margin breakdown, from percentages to cost, your profit above cost of goods. It also will help you give detailed insight on how to renegotiate any sort of costs you are incurring, whether that be from packaging or supplier pricing or even production pricing. Say if your pre-rolls, you can get those down 5 cents, you're maybe paying 55 cents per pre-roll, but you could get it down to 50 cents. Just like I said, every 100,000 pre-rolls you sell, saving that 5 cents, that's 5 racks you're putting back in your pocket, or putting back into your marketing budget. So use that COGS calculator. Super, super handy. And before having this, it was really just using spreadsheets, honestly, and it's not my strength. And if you have one formula messed up on your spreadsheet, you might not even know. You're not an expert at using Excel. So these formulas that you got to program customly might not be working properly, or it might break. You know, sometimes you go in the spreadsheet, you type in a number and it messes up the formula somehow, and you might not even know that. And then you come back, or one of your other employees comes back and looks at the spreadsheet and is like, hey, I've made the decision based off this number. And then you realize that number is not even accurate because the formula was fucked up. So the COGS calculator, it's going to give you a go or a no-go answer in under a minute. And again, if you want access to that COGS calculator, the link in the bio is below to access that, as well as our school and Telegram communities. And while you're there, sign up for the newsletter too, because you get a lot of great info, such as stuff like this in it. Okay, next tool is Claude. And yes, this is another LLM, just like with ChatGPT, but I use Claude for storytelling, for long form copy, for anything written. It's really good at narrative-driven writing. And I like to use this instead of ChatGPT. ChatGPT is better for technical stuff or for formatting stuff or for numbers, things like that. But Claude is great for brand storytelling, for product and strain descriptions, blog posts, email newsletters, anything that involves quality written approach. I prefer to use Claude. Or you can use both sometimes, get some results from ChatGPT, then plug it into Claude and ask Claude to critique it or to update it or to make it more impactful or to want someone to take action. It's great for educational content. And really what I've noticed is it writes with nuance and depth that feels more human than ChatGPT does. So this is also a great tool to use for helping to build your brand identity out. And it's not just outputs of asking it questions. It's more for written stuff. So speaking of writing, when it comes to real copywriting, when I need writing that sells, I use this software called Benson, and it's abbreviated BNSN. And it was written by this renowned copywriter, John Benson, and it's sales focused. And so this is not like a regular GPT or an AI that you're used to. This is sales focused and it's conversion heavy writing. So some of the things that Benson is perfect for is stuff like your website copy or landing pages. And this is where the copy needs to be, every single word needs to be impactful. And you don't want to have too many words. And if you're not a professional, this is direct copy. This is what's called direct response copy. It causes people to respond or to take action. So this is great for sales emails, web pages, product descriptions, and it's going to give polished direct response copy instantly. And it truly increases conversion rates without having to hire someone full time. So all the copy on my Cannabis Academy website, you can go there now, was written by Benson. So about a year ago, I was speaking with Ty Lopez's business partner. He's the CEO of Ty Lopez's company. And I was showing him what I was doing with Cannabis Academy. He was super impressed by it and asked how he could help. So he took a look at my website, and first thing he's like, bro, I love the idea of what you're doing, but your website copy sucks. He's like, you need to do one of two things. You either need to hire a professional copywriter, and to hire a professional copywriter, you're gonna spend tens of thousands of dollars, because he said a really good copywriter, they're not looking for work. Not only are they highly sought after, but any good copywriter, it's like having magic in your hands. You just basically find a product or a service that you know you can sell, or that you believe in that you can sell, and having the right copywriting behind it is going to cause it to sell. So these really good copywriters, they're dialed in. They're making their own money, and they're not looking for freelance jobs or just some copywriting jobs on the side or something. So the people that are willing to do that, it's a red flag. It's like, why are they doing all this freelance copywriting if they're not making millions themselves because of having good copywriting skills? So it's a catch-22, chicken before the egg type thing. So the second option, he said, he's like, you can either hire a really good copywriter, which is going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars, or you learn how to copyright yourself. And it's not an easy skill to learn. You really got to dive in and develop that skill. So it was kind of a letdown. I was kind of frustrated. I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? I really dove in deep trying to figure it out. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to have to learn copywriting then. And within my search of figuring out how to learn copywriting, I came across Benson. And I'm thinking like, man, this is probably just some gimmick, thinking about what Ty Lopez's guys told me. And I'm like, let me give it a shot. And I give it a shot, and come to find out, this is the only software of its kind. And it's not like an LLM where you just type in like, give me some copy for my website. It's got its own structure to it, its own template. So depending on whether you're writing a VSL, email campaign, script, website copy, all these are different. So you pick the the format that you're doing, and it walks you through. It asks you some key points and some features and some details about it, and then it just does the rest in the background. So Benson is super powerful, and it bridges that gap between having to hire a copywriter or having to learn copywriting yourself. So I highly recommend Benson. Okay, the next tool, this is a newer one, but it's very powerful. It's called Nano Banana. And this is how you're gonna get product visuals without having to do photo shoots every time. It's gonna save you thousands in photography costs. And what it does, it lets me generate photorealistic renders of packaging, of flower jars, of pre-rolls, of t-shirts, logos, anything you give it the assets to and tell it what you want it to be on. You want it to be on a beach in the tropics. You want it to be on the mountain of Mount Everest. Like wherever you want your product shot, it can do it. And it's really good quality. It doesn't even look like AI. Every render, if you tweak it the right way, is on brand, it's consistent. And it's perfect for social media, also ads if you're gonna be running ads, as well as just great for product shots. And it's also good for testing product concepts before manufacturing it, seeing how they'll fit, even putting them out there in the public, seeing what the response is like. But it's gonna eliminate waiting weeks for studio photo shoots, having to schedule that, having to find models, having to book the studio, having to book the photographer. It's also great for thumbnails. So if you're doing any kind of YouTube content, any sort of visual content you gotta put out there, thumbnails, album covers if you're doing music, all sorts of things that have static images, Nano Banana is great for. And you can even take those static images and turn it into videos as well, but I'm not gonna get into that on this video, but Nano Banana, if you're not using it yet, check it out, it's very powerful. Okay, next tool, it's called SEMrush, SEMRUSH. And this is for SEO. And I feel like most cannabis brands ignore SEO, which makes it a goldmine. So what I use SEMrush for is to identify SEO ranking opportunities, which is basically finding low competition keywords, which then will help me plan blog content. Because based on these specific keywords, they're called long tail keywords. A long tail keyword would be like, how to write a blog is a general keyword. But let's say how to write a blog article for a licensed cannabis brand in California that hasn't launched yet. So you see how it's a long tail keyword. It's got a lot of details to it. And that's probably extra long. So let's say how to write a blog article is general, but how to write a blog article for a licensed cannabis brand in California is a long tail keyword. So with SEO, it's not just about writing blog content. It's also about optimizing your product pages. And what SEO is gonna do is it's gonna give you organic visibility. Because these long tail keywords, they bring in high intent traffic without ad spend. So basically the long tail keywords, the ones that are more popular, what that means is these are keywords, these are strings of keywords that people are actually typing into Google, that they're searching. So based on your keyword ranking score, it's showing you two things. How often is it being searched? And then how competitive is that specific long tail keyword? And by competitive, it means how many people are publishing content using that exact string of that long tail keyword. So this is what SEMrush does, is it finds out all that data for you. So now you just literally make your decision, like, okay, I'm gonna use this keyword because the competition is low. It's a highly ranked keyword, string of keywords. And so I'm gonna write an entire blog article about it. And so now what that means is you're literally, it's giving you, it's like a cheat code. It's telling you what to write a blog article about because you're gonna have hella people consistently searching for that blog article. And so now yours is gonna be shown to them. So this is obviously gonna help your brand get discovered by customers who are out there already searching anyway. So this gives cannabis companies a huge advantage in markets with ad restrictions, just like cannabis, because people are still looking, what's the best dispensary? What's the best weed strain to smoke? What's the newest weed strain? These are all long tail keywords that you could be putting content out that now when they ask this question, you're gonna be showing up on their screen. So if you need help implementing any of this, book a one-on-one strategy call with me below. We'll go over how to set up all these tools for your business, which tools are more important for you, and how to structure it in a way where you can scale to $100,000 a month while running it like a consistent machine. And for free options, you know I give free game every week in our email list, as well as my Telegram and Instagram. And if you want to join our free private school community where you can ask questions to any of our members, the link is down in the bio for that as well. And remember, you don't need to work 24/7 for your brand to work 24/7. You just need to make the right choices. So be sure to subscribe below.